Good morning and welcome to my channel. The name of the channel is Angry Taxpayer and I'm your host, Donna Smirniotopoulos. Today is Wednesday, January the 22nd, and today I want to talk to you about education and some of the real pearls that I heard last night at the Board of Education meeting, which I left early because who can stand that much pleasure in 1 hour period at City Hall? I mean, it was oodles of fun. My favorite quote of the evening came from one of my favorite disingenuous members of the Board of Education, Barbara Meyer-Mitchell. Can always count on Barbara to say something completely phony, disingenuous, not true to her soul, and kind of an insult to our intelligence. The superintendent was talking about the cost to educate all the new students. And most of these students, the vast majority, are new arrivals. They don't speak English, and many of them have not had much formal education. So the costs associated with new enrollment are in the $5 million range. We're not getting any help from Senator Duff. He's the one who invited them in when he supported the Trust Act. And it's a fine thing to say, we care about you. It is not a fine thing to invite people in and then make no preparations for how you're going to take care of them, except we're just going to lean on residential homeowners and they're going to take care of it, whether they want to or not. They won't have a choice. So $5 million we're on the hook for next year. We don't have a choice. This is, mandated. We're also on the hook for $6.5 million in contractually obligated increases. So those are salary increases that got baked into the contracts. And here's what Barbara said about how we're going to cover that $5 million nut for ELL and new enrollment. And she said, we can choose to be afraid or we can choose to celebrate. Genius, Barbara, but what does that have to do with how we're going to come up with $5 million to pay for this? This is a false equivalency. It's a classic liberal, leftist, virtue signaling kind of comment. And the implication is, if you object to spending this money, you're just afraid of brown children, all right? Nothing could be more false, phony. I suggest that you don't fall for it. The other interesting tidbits from last night, I didn't know whether to expect a big turnout from Brenda Penn-Williams' group. Brenda is the president of the local chapter of the NAACP. NAACP has a wonderful history. I don't know that they're especially relevant right now. The Norwalk chapter, for one thing, doesn't really seem to be very much engaged in the issues attached to the growth in the Latino community and funding for all of these very vulnerable students who have entered the country, had difficult journeys, had difficult lives in the countries they came from, and need not only English language instruction, but many of them need, social services because they were traumatized. I have not heard Brenda or anybody from the NAACP for that matter say, Senator Duff, you need to do more to help these vulnerable kids. We're the NAACP and we want you to do, no, this is all about, I was insulted by Mike Barbis, and Mike Barbis needs to go. Okay, this is the Brenda Penn-Williams show. This is not about helping minorities. This is not about anybody's advancement. This is the Brenda Penn-Williams show. I don't know why people continue to support her, but maybe it's just the organization isn't really that great anymore. But I was 2 rows behind Brenda. When you go into the council chambers, you see a sign that says no food or drink allowed. And occasionally, and you will see people sitting, council members or members of the Board of Education in this case, drinking water or something of that nature. But chowing down on sandwiches, no. There's not a lot of snacking going on. So she's 2 rows in front of me, and she is eating loudly a loud snack, Lay's fried onions. And she is enjoying peering into the bag and making all kinds of crunchy sounds because Brenda's special and the rules don't apply to her, all right? She has her water and it's one of those crinkly recyclable bottles and it had been frozen. So in addition to the noise of the crinkly plastic, there was the ice banging around. And she made no effort to be discreet or to be quiet, because you know what? She doesn't think she has to, because she's special. And that was great. That was really great. And then this really important person that local members of the NAACP have entrusted with their leadership, and the woman who was able to pack a Board of Education meeting in November with people from all over the state, didn't really know why they were here, except they were told Mike Barbis sent a racist email, and they just believed that without knowing any context, no interest in context. So that's the kind of power this woman has, and she's so invested in the principles of the NAACP that what did she do after she finished eating? Online cards. Yep. She got busy with some online card game, with wagering and so forth. Now, you know what? Was I being nosy and paying attention to what Brenda was doing? I suppose so. But if you're going to come to a meeting with an intent to create trouble, to single somebody out for censure, not just censure, but to have somebody removed from a board to which they were just recently reelected, if that's your intent and you're the leader of this august organization, well, I think you owe it to yourself, and you owe it to the people who look up to you, the people who vote for you, to comport yourself in a way that speaks well of yourself and well of your organization. And for Brenda, that was an epic fail. But again, I don't think she cares. I think Brenda is about Brenda. She doesn't seem to care about our students. I believe that she has been banned from entry at either all the public schools or some of the public schools. She was a substitute teacher, no longer on that list. So this is weak leadership for the NAACP in Norwalk, but perhaps the organization itself needs to be overhauled. I've been involved in an organization that needs to be overhauled. I know what that's like, but I really think that the Norwalk NAACP should be focusing on how we are going to pay for these big upticks in especially new enrollment in ELL. This should be their focus, not that Brenda got her feelings hurt. And you know, just between you and me, if Brenda treated me, I mean, I've had a taste of this. I had a taste of it at November 19th meeting. If I were treated like that, if that's a hint of the way Brenda treated Mike Barbis, well, then no wonder. No wonder he didn't want to go to their banquet. And no wonder he said what he said about the headline, if the story got out about, the new schools in South Norwalk not coming to be, the headline would be Blacks F Latinos. It was a clumsy way of saying one minority community, which is 15% of the student population, is not looking out for the huge minority population, which is 52% of the student population. You're not looking out for them. And lo and behold, District B did not put up one Latino on their slate for the Democratic Town Committee. I like the people they have. They're great people. They were smart enough to bypass Mike Mushak, and they gave the nod to Travis Sims and Ernie Dumas, who both supported Lisa Britton. So I think that was a big smack to Harry, and it was a good one. But District B didn't seem to make any effort to bring any Latinos, among their ranks. So it is a problem. Maybe you don't like the way Mike Barbis said it, but it's the truth. And we need to be honest with ourselves. We're not going to get anywhere if we're not honest. And then other news from Board of Ed, it's almost like at times an Al-Qaeda hostage film. Everybody was kind of grinning and smiling along with the idea that we're going to get this new school. Did someone not tell the superintendent that the money's not there? He sounded hopeful, but it was almost like, we're going to waterboard you in this room for a while until you get your story straight on the school before we let you out in front of the public. That's how it felt to me. You guys should watch the tape and see how it felt to you. But we need to stand strong with this. And 2 years ago, I was supporting full funding the Board of Ed budget. Not this year. Not this year. So, hold on to your lives, hold on to your homes, sell if you can, get out of here, because this place is going to hell in a handbasket. Congratulations, Harry Aurora, however, the one bright moment from yesterday. Congratulations to you. And we're either going to turn the ship around or it's going to sink. So